Hello, I'm Al Jansen, and welcome to the first podcast of my blog, Allan's Perspective. In typical Canadian fashion, and in all good conscience, I have to start with an apology to our American neighbors and cousins for some of the mean things I say about you, Donald Trump, and the Republicans. The political opinions expressed here were not written out of malice or vindictiveness, but rather as a reflection on a society that was once considered the greatest nation on the face of the earth. Sitting up here in the Great White North affords us an interesting yet a detached view of what's happening down there in the US of A. It puts us in the unique position of being able to observe and comment about American society without all that emotional and political baggage that goes along with it. We all know that America reached its zenith as a country back during the JFK years, and it was called Camelot for a very good reason. Then along came Tricky Dick, and this is when the Republicans started that long, slow slide into greed, partisanship, and dishonesty. Oh, there was that thing with Joe McCarthy, too, but that was a different story. From Watergate to the Iran-Contra affair to Bush declaring war in the Middle East, the only principles the Republicans seem to have now is driven by profit and power. The post-World War II United States was the greatest nation the world had ever seen. And Don the Con was absolutely right when he says you should try to make America great again. Unfortunately, he's going about it in the worst way possible. Between various groups and ideologies, this slide from greatness just seems to have been accelerating in the last couple of years. On the surface, there's not much difference, if any, between the average American and Canadian. Unfortunately, down in the States, since you're 10 times our size, there are so many more pockets of nutcases, fanatics, idiots, and bigots walking around, and they're doing great harm to your country. The only solution to this problem? Taking power away from special interest groups. That's what makes or breaks a country, folks, and in this area the U.S. has been sadly lacking. I've said this before, and I'll say it again, just so there's no mistaken idea about what I mean. Don the Con Trumple-Thinskin won the presidency of the United States through fraud and duplicity. Two of the main factors was the RNC's practice of gerrymandering the electoral districts and Russia's meddling in the election itself. Don't let anyone tell you different, folks. We already have evidence of massive subversion in various social media, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. God only knows what else Mueller will expose before everything's said and done. Since Trump got to be POTUS through crooked means, I propose a few solutions to this problem that'll go a long way toward restoring things to their natural balance. The first, of course, is get rid of Trump. I don't care how you do it, but the guy's an embarrassment to the entire country, and the sooner he goes, the better. Second, to go a long way toward fixing the political process, install John Casey and Joe Biden as co-presidents for the duration of this term. Then think about making this arrangement permanent. Or better yet, adding a full-time third party like the Libertarians. We have 3 parties up here in Canada, and that prevents any one group from getting too extreme or ridiculous. Third, this is the biggest one, folks, get rid of the Electoral College, lobbying, and all the lobbyists. Ladies and gentlemen, lobbying is nothing more than a legalized system of corruption. It's bribes and double-dealing that totally ignores the wishes of voters and pushes the government solely in the hands of special interest groups. There you have it, folks. Easy as 1, 2, 3. Now, please don't think we're free of these problems up here in Canada, because we're not. You just have a lot more of it down there. The way I see it, anyway.